Hello and welcome to Jesus for Asia Now. I'm Natalie Wood, and today my husband John is here with me. We're going to do a little bit different show today. It's a little bit of dreaming, maybe, a bit of a travelogue. Welcome to the show, dear.
Hi, darling. Good to be here.
You went on a trip,
Yep.
and that's what we want to share about today. Some
Yep.
possibilities, some learning, maybe some language, culture kind of learning,
Yep.
sights and sounds.
Yeah.
Where are we going today?
Well, I want to share a little bit about why I'm going to these places.
Okay.
And a lot of times, what is the motive of our travel? For me, I find myself going back to the same spot a lot. Of course, we have ministries, we have projects there, so we just keep going back to the same spot. And I think as a church, we tend to, or as humans, we tend to go back to what we know. And so I wanted to look into places that we aren't doing anything. A lot of times we talk about all the things that we've accomplished and all the mission outreach projects that we're doing. And so we kind of get the feeling or the impression that a lot's being done overseas. A lot of money is going, there's a lot of ministries involved in overseas work, but in the actuality, when you look at the big picture, there's hardly anything being done to reach the unreached, to reach the major population centers of the world.
There are a lot of areas where nothing is being done.
Exactly.
Basically.
Every week we talk about finishing the work, and there's a lot of places where I'd love to see the work start.
So you're looking at where the need is, not
Yes.
just where the work is already.
Right.
So, do you want to explain to us this map? What are we
Sure.
seeing here?
Yeah, so the yellow is the land, and the red spots are where the population density is higher. Like certain number of people per square kilometer or something.
Okay.
So like in the outback of Australia, center of Australia, there's nobody, so that's all yellow. In South Dakota, North Dakota, the people are really spread out, so you're not going to see any red in those places. But in places like China, in Java, the island of Java in Indonesia in the south,
Yeah,
there
that's
just north
all
of
red.
Australia, it's all red. I mean, like a lot of people in one place. And so one of the highest density population centers in the world is there in northern India.
Yeah.
Okay, it's that crescent right below Nepal. And even though that's got the most number of people, I mean, the numbers just are staggering of how many people are up there. Like in one union, the North India Union has 650 million people. That's twice the population of the United States.
Wow.
In one union. That's not a division.
Yeah.
That's just one union. And guess how many pastors they have for 650 million people?
I hate to guess. Because
Less-
we have 4,000.
Yeah, in the North American division.
Right.
They have less than 100.
Wow.
And so the numbers they're just...
Boggle the mind. Yeah.
they were like, who is sufficient for these things?
Right. No one but God and His Spirit.
Yeah. But
And by His Spirit, He can open doors that man can walk through.
and that's what we're wanting to do is, there's that statement of there's a need for people to push the victories of the cross. And even Paul was talking about, in Romans, he's like, everybody around here, there's other people that can do this work, but where is the work not being done? And so he was wanting to go to Spain, and that was God's will for his life, except that his life was cut short. But anyway, that's kind of like, where are we not doing this work? And so that's the reason for this trip that I took.
Okay.
And so we launched up from Mumbai, and looking out of the plane window, you see a slum type of dwelling there. As you lift off, we look off into the distance, we see high rises. If we look to the left here, in the bottom left corner of the screen, you can see how the slum is right up against these big high rises. And so you see this big mixture, this big disparity between the
poor
ultra poor and
the
the wealthy. It's a huge city, a metropolitan area of 20 million people. It's the size of New York. Massive city, and we'll get to that in another show. Beautiful cloud formations. You can see we're coming from Mumbai straight up. It's about a 2-hour flight. And now we're zooming into the state of Punjab.
Okay.
And we're coming to the city of Amritsar.
Okay.
So we come in, we land, here's the airport, very modern airport, and this is my taxi driver. I got from the airport to my hotel with an Uber. taxi.
Okay.
And he had the turban and everything. And so he took me to my hotel through the Gandhi Gate coming into
Okay.
Amritsar, past the tree where they're selling a lot of things. It's a banyan tree, really cool tree. And then this is my hotel.
Okay.
So many times we see pictures, but a lot of it's hard to imagine the feeling of being there, you know, in the mix. And
Right.
you look around and there's things happening and the smell and the heat and everything like that. And so
We
different.
can't share the smell or the heat today, but we can share the sights and sounds.
Yeah.
So we have a video.
Okay. So I was just walking down the street and videotaping as I went because it's so different. It's so, you know, you walk across the street and you just weave yourself through the traffic. Otherwise, you'll never get across.
Right.
And just walking down the sidewalk, it's such a different feeling. And the people are friendly. They're open and they're warm. As I was walking, I saw this guy come up to his Royal Enfield motorcycle.
Well, you have told me that this is really an unusual bike. So they still have those?
Yeah, they do. But it was neat just to talk to him, and you know, you look at him, he's a normal guy.
Yeah.
Put him in Australia or America, he's going to fit right in. And now his mother comes along and hops on.
Yeah.
Then that night, I went walking out to go to the Golden Temple.
Okay. What is that?
I'll show you,
Okay.
because you have to see it to believe it.
Okay.
It's amazing. So that night, I'm walking down. This is obviously after dark, around 8 or 9 o'clock at night. Most of the people had already gone past. I was a little bit tired, so I had rested. This is what I saw. You know, then people started coming, more and more people. The crowds got a little thicker. I love the way she's writing on the back. You know, side saddle, big, broad streets. And then I started seeing these massive statues and stuff. It's like, wow. And then this. It's like, wow. And then
There's a lot of motion in that one.
yeah. And then this bus, look at this bus. I mean, it's
Full. On top and bottom.
yeah, it's a double decker
Yeah.
converted. And then more and more people. And
Was this a festival time? Like a
No.
special holiday?
no, it was just a normal day, not a special, nothing special. This is just normal traffic
Okay.
to go to this temple.
Oh, okay.
And of course, the subway there kind of made me, well, it looked a little out of place, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I knew if I had any trouble, you know, with the food, I just go there. But
Yeah.
this is the entrance to the temple.
Wow.
Yeah. And look at all these people. They're just walking through, and people, like entire families are camped out there spending the night. And this is after we come into the entrance. This is the temple. So inside this entrance is this big square with a big lake, and in the middle of the lake is this golden temple.
The Golden Temple.
And they call it the Golden Temple for a very good reason.
It's gold.
Yes. It's actually gold.
Wow.
That's me.
And you have something orange on your head.
In order to go in, you have to take off your shoes. And they have this little free shoe bank thing where you
Check your shoes
check
in.
your shoes in. They give you a
Okay.
little metal
Claim
number.
check thing. Okay.
And then you walk through this disinfectant little pool. It's about that deep, just to get the disinfectant off your feet. And then you go in. And
You
then
mean you get the disinfectant on your feet?
yeah,
You
get the
disinfect
germs,
your feet.
get your germs off your feet.
Okay.
And then you have to have something
A
on
head
your
covering.
head. So this guy sold me this little orange head scarf. And here's some worshipers. Now, what's unique about this temple and this religion is they don't worship idols.
Really?
Yeah, they've got a big book. I mean, it's a massive book. And inside is the writings of their sages from generations ago. They had like 7 very wise sages that wrote down all their thoughts, and they put it in a book. And they don't worship the book, but that's what's on display, and they venerate the book. They have miracles in their history. A man was coming to save a part of his kingdom. He got in a battle, got his head chopped off, so he carried his head in his hand and went and saved the kingdom anyway. The pool has healing powers, so you'll see people going into the pool, like Pool Bethesda, basically, to get healed, and a lot of teachings, teaching and educating the people. They walk around with a little dagger in their belt. So they have the
Head covering.
Head covering, the big beard, and the dagger.
Okay.
Now, we have a good friend in Bangkok who was a former Sikh, and he's now a wonderful Adventist, just a wonderful family. A lot of God's people live there.
Right.
In that. So as I was coming home, the streets were darker. I went through a different section of town, found this
Dress shops.
shop. Yeah. And you look at this looks like, what are those? Close up, it's like just a lot of shoes.
Yeah.
And then this place,
They sell the daggers.
they sell
and
the
the swords.
Yeah.
Long
and,
swords. Wow.
Yeah. And then more clothes, just lots and lots of, it's the garment.
Textiles.
Yeah. Yeah.
Garments.
It was Friday night, so I didn't buy anything. I would have loved to buy you something beautiful.
Wow, that's
But
okay.
next time I'll take you up there and maybe we
That
can
would be nice.
try it on.
Mm-hmm.
The next day was Sabbath, so I walked to church.
Okay.
And this is some of the sights and sounds as I was walking to church.
Okay.
I have a man.
The pedal taxi.
Yep. And then this guy
I feel sorry for the horse.
I know. And then here's a Sikh person. I asked him if I could take his picture, and he said, I don't know why, but sure. So I took his picture, Now this is just standing on the side of the road. This is just a normal roadside scene. You can't feel the heat, you can't smell, but just here's a young couple getting a taxi. Obviously they're going somewhere on a weekend or an extended trip, and so the guy that was in the taxi already gets up and goes and sits with the driver, and then they get in, and this guy is asking if I need a ride, and then just, this is normal life.
Yeah.
There. Here's a bicycle repair shop with his
Okay.
tools spread out.
Ready for anything.
Another shot of the street. And you can see a couple of guys hauling their stuff. Here's a man. This is a moving truck taking some pipes to a construction site. I had walked over an overpass, main thoroughfare into town, and then main train tracks.
Okay.
And this is a shot looking down on one section of the city. Just a couple more shots, and then here we are at the Adventist church.
Nice.
And we come inside,
It's a
and
nice building.
it was really hot, but it wasn't hot enough to turn on the ACs. So it's what you're used to.
Right.
So they had the fans running, and right across the aisle was a man wearing a turban.
Okay.
And it's kind of neat to see when you travel to different parts of the world, you see people from different backgrounds. That's your brother. We have the same God, the same Christ, the same hope, the same opportunity for salvation.
Yeah. That's neat.
They had Sabbath school. Here's a little bit of their singing. It's not a song that I recognize, and it's a different style that I'm used to, but it really touched their hearts.
It's always interesting to me to see the types of music and hear it in different languages. I
Yes.
love to hear the songs that they sing in different languages. It sounds similar to a song I've heard in other areas of India in other languages, but I couldn't tell you if it really is,
Right.
because it's a totally different language.
Yeah.
So,
But it's also a different style,
right,
and it reaches their heart.
right.
It's their heart style or language. After church, they invited me to potluck.
Nice.
And so we had tamarind rice and some rasam or something. I forgot what else. And of course, naan.
Okay.
Naan.
None. Yum.
We fellowshiped for a while. I walked back home, read and prayed, tried not to die from the heat. And then that evening I went out looking for a restaurant, and down this little tiny alley, I found this Punjab Dhaba restaurant.
Okay.
And went inside, and it doesn't look like much, but it was so tasty.
Yeah, it looks like it's a little bit spicy to me, actually.
It wasn't very spicy
Oh, that's good.
to me.
Okay.
But-
Yeah, your tastes are a little bit different from mine. Looks like maybe parota you had?
Yes, as a parota, done differently than in South India. Not
Right.
as oily, but just really good. And across the aisle again was a man that you don't normally, dressed in a style of dress you don't normally see here in
Right.
America.
Right.
And I like that. I like that. And then after the meal, they brought me the dessert.
Okay. It looks like, is that ice cubes or salt cubes or sugar cubes?
Sugar cubes.
Okay. And then the fennel on the right side.
Yeah, fennel is a traditional way throughout India where you finish your meal with a little refresher.
Yeah.
The
Kind of
fennel
a
seeds.
breath mint almost.
Yeah, yeah. So I didn't eat all of it.
Okay, that's good. You wouldn't have teeth now.
And by the time I came out, it had rained.
Oh, okay.
And so we went back to my hotel in the rain. On the way back, I found some guava juice, and I was thirsty, so I bought this little guava juice. And something was wrong with it. I was drinking, and it's like, wow, is something?
Is it bad?
Yeah, is it bad? Had a little felt like a little bite to it. And I'm like, what is wrong with this? But I smell this. I smelled okay. And then I looked closer at the label. Masala.
Masala. Oh,
Spicy guava drink. It was spicy drink.
traditional Indian flavor though. Masala.
Yes. And after I understood what it wasn't so bad, but very different. And I like the variety. It's kind of interesting.
Okay.
The next day, because I had gone up there with the plan to meet the president of that section.
Okay.
Okay. And so the next day, I got another Uber taxi, and I drove from Amritsar all the way to Jalandhar. And
Okay.
first thing I did, of course, have breakfast. This is all I could find.
Okay.
Asia's not real big on breakfast.
No.
Yeah. So I found that and got my Uber taxi, and we drove the 2.5 hours. This is the gate leaving the city.
Wow.
And I wanted to show you what I saw on the way of a family vehicle. This is SUV, sport
A
utility.
little bit scary that child is standing on there.
Yeah. This is slow-mo, of course, so.
Right. They weren't actually driving that slow.
No.
Wow.
It's not something you see in America.
Nope.
Okay.
Not without them getting pulled over
Oh.
and everybody yelling at them for endangering their lives and the child's life and
Oh, yeah. Different philosophy.
lifestyle.
Yes.
Different philosophy, yeah.
Then this is the North India section headquarters office there in Jalandhar, and that is over 2 states. It's over Punjab as well as Jammu and Kashmir up in
Okay.
the north. And we're not going to talk much about Jammu and Kashmir because it's 2 reasons. Number one, it's highly contested. If you look at the border, a lot of the state is claimed by China, and a lot of the other part of the state is claimed by Pakistan.
Oh,
And so there's been recent fighting between India and Pakistan in that area up there. There's only about 10 or 11 million people that live in Jammu, Kashmir.
only.
Yeah, but I figure, 2 million people per Bible worker, that's not bad.
That's really bad.
That's really bad.
That's really bad.
Yeah. So that as you go into new areas, you see more areas to go into.
Right.
So then I met with the pastor. This is Pastor Kishore Gill,
Okay.
the current president of the North India section,
Okay.
and a wonderful man. This was a Sunday. They're all dressed up. And then I also met the ministerial director
Okay.
of that same section, and we had a wonderful talk. We spent about 5 hours together talking and brainstorming and praying and fellowshipping and eating together. This is a little map that was pinned up on his wall. This is the Jammu and Kashmir map. And someday I'm going to rent one of those Royal Enfield motorcycles and travel that road. That is, because there's people out there that God knows, but I don't.
Yeah.
And this map doesn't show it, but where that one road that goes off to the right is, that's like the Himalayas. So
Okay.
it's like big, steep mountains and ravines and stuff like that. So
Not a huge population.
no, not over there. And so we don't, but there's a few towns over there, and we don't have any Bible. There is no Adventist presence in that area.
Okay.
The only Adventist presence is like on the left-hand side, the western side, 5 Bible workers.
Okay.
That's it for the entire state. Then this is Punjab. You can see it's separated in about 23 different provinces.
Okay.
When I'd come through in 2009, they had told me that the entire southern half of the state of Punjab had no Adventist work whatsoever. Nothing.
Wow.
But when you look at the state of Punjab from satellite, see all those brown dots?
Yeah.
Every single one of those is a city or a town or a village with people in it.
Wow.
So this is an area where there's no Adventist work.
And there's
All
lots
those
and lots of towns and villages.
huge, wide open. As I zoom in, you can see somebody start to make out little features of towns and villages.
Wow.
While we were there, what we talked about and brainstormed and dreamed about was sending Bible workers into those, the far southwest. Okay, no Adventist work whatsoever right now, but we want to project those Bible workers into that place and start something.
Wow.
Anything's better than nothing, right?
Yep.
So that's our dream, that's our hope. On the far right of that, in southeastern Punjab, you see a town called Patiala.
Okay.
Okay, in the district of Patiala. That's a major city there. And they had started a congregation there several years back. And they had the opportunity to buy land and build a church for that fellowship, that faith community.
Okay.
And a group from another country, from Korea, had come in and said, we will give you the money to build this church, to buy the land and build the church, but you have to give 10% of the cost of the building from the local field.
Oh, wow.
Which was $4,500. And so he's been looking, the president's been looking and praying and begging and going all over. They cannot find $4,500 to build this church. So that kind of shows you how desperately poor
they are,
the church is.
So you shared this at Faith Camp.
Yes.
Recently in the Northwest, and we had a donor that came to you afterward, and they said, if this has not been funded,
yes,
I will send the money.
Yes.
And so we confirmed with Pastor Gill that this has not been funded.
Yes.
And no portion of it.
Yes.
And so we told them, and they sent a check for the full amount.
Yes.
So we are so thankful to God that we can be a part of sending those funds. Those funds are on their way right now.
Yes.
Sending those funds, and we're looking forward to getting pictures of that church.
Yes, and Pastor Gill is so happy. Just so, for us, $4,500, I mean, it's a chunk of money. It's not nothing, but to see what it can do, to that kind of impact to a local faith community where they're like in the minority.
Yeah.
They're like just a few.
Yeah.
Maybe 20 or 30 or 50 people, but in a state where there's 30 million people, and they're just some of the few. It's amazing.
It's huge. It's exciting.
It is.
It's a definite praise.
Yes. So after spending a few hours with the leaders of the church up there, driving back, I'm just looking, this is the sun was setting a little bit, just being there in a place where there's so little light, there's so little awareness of the second coming, of the crisis that's just at hand. You just start to, your heart you just can't help looking out and saying, how many of these people have never had the chance to hear the name of Jesus? How many of these people have never had the chance to hear that Jesus is coming soon? And the fact that we can do something, and this is what I love about going into an unentered area, is that if we do just one little tiny thing, it's something in the place of nothing. If we,
it's 100% improvement.
If we bring one person into the truth, that's like an infinite church growth from 0 to 1. That's not even 100%. That's from 0 to 1.
Yeah, that's 100%.
That, 1 to 2, that would be 100% growth.
True.
But 0 to 1, that's like an infinite percentage.
Right. That's true.
And so it's like we have the chance to put something, to put the truth, to put a standard, to put God's love in a place where there's nothing.
Yeah.
I just felt a need to pray. So I spent the day just beseeching the Lord, just going after God, saying, Lord, give us Punjab. Give us Punjab. And, there's something about praying for a foreign mission field when you're here at home. It's a whole different thing when you're actually there.
And you're seeing it.
Yes.
And you're seeing the people.
Yes.
And you're seeing the way they live.
Yes. It's no longer just a statistic. It's no longer just a number. It's that guy that, his mom lives in Punjab, he lives in Melbourne. It's the people that served that parota to me. I looked in their face. I know that they're human. They have cares, they have concerns. They're just trying to, get ahead. They're just trying to feed their family. It's like they're people. And so that night, as I was driving, taking another Uber to the airport, I'm just asking myself, what can we do? What can we do for Punjab?
Well, we're going to start with Bible workers.
Yes.
And the church.
Yes.
And then we'll see what God does.
There's also, we talked to, because think about it, Bible workers is a really necessary and probably the most effective way of bringing people to faith and spreading the light. But as far as planting seeds, you're looking at 30 million people.
That's true.
How many Bible workers will we need to reach 30 million people?
A lot.
So while the president and I and the ministerial director were talking, I started telling them what was happening with our television ministry in the South and telling them how easy it was and how inexpensive it was if we do it right. And they got so excited. And so it's like, that's another thing that's on the table, is let's figure out if we can do television in the state of Punjab.
Wow. That will be awesome.
Oh my goodness.
Throw the seed. Throw the seed. Yeah.
And then our Bible workers will be responding to the interests rather than like doing the cold calls.
Right.
Yeah. They need to do that too.
Right.
But but it'll be in the local language.
Yeah.
Local language, local people, local cultural challenges.
Local contacts.
Yes. Yeah. That's really what's necessary to reach that population.
Wow. We have a lot of praying to do.
Yes, we do.
And I would like to invite you to be a part of this great opportunity to pray for them, to do whatever the Lord is asking you to do, to be a part of it. You can get in touch with us at Jesus for Asia, P.O. Box 1221, Collegedale, Tennessee 37315. Call us at 423-413-7321 or visit our website at jesusforasia.org. May God richly bless you until we see you next time on Jesus for Asia Now.